the first question will be in 5,306,149, the digit 3 is the which placing. So we're looking at this digit over here. Let me my pen. Okay, the digit 3 is in the 100,000. Okay, so this one you should be able to get it correct. Move on to the next question. Find the value of 400 multiplied by 720. So in this case, it will be 400 times 720. Okay, I'm gonna move these two zeros to the other side, so it's gonna become 4 times 720 00. So what I need to focus on is basically the 72 times 4 will give me a 288. Okay, so this will give me a 288. Add in the 3 zeros behind, and the answer is number 4. Going to question 3, simplify 8 plus 6w minus 1 plus 7w. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange it a bit. I'm going to bring the 6w all the way behind. So this equation becomes 8 minus 1, okay, plus 7w plus 6w, okay, which will give me 7 minus 1 is a 7. 7 plus 6 will give me a 13w. And the answer will be number 1. Move on to question 4. May divided 15 kg of cashew nuts equally into some containers. So each container had 3/5 kg of cashew nuts. So how many containers did she use? So basically, this is the 15 kg is the total mass of the cashew nuts, right? So we're gonna divide it with the amount of cashew nuts in each container, which is 3/5 kg. Okay, so this one is a basic fraction operation where you need to divide and then flip it over, it becomes a multiply. Okay, put it over 1 and then let's simplify it. Divided by 3 divided by 3, which will give me a 25. Okay, so there are 25 containers altogether. Okay, so this question 5 is asking you what number divided by 100 will be equal to 90.9. Okay, so we can use the jumping bean method on 1, 2, 3, 4 to check which one will give you 90.9. So number 1, definitely not. Number 2, also not. Okay, number 3 will give me a 9.09, which is wrong. And then the last one will give me a 90.9. Okay, so which means that the answer is number 4. Move on to question 6. Mrs. Go prepared a jug of honey lemon drink using honey, okay, lemon juice, and water. Okay, in the ratio of 3:1:8. I'm gonna write down the ratio. Honey is to lemon is to water. Okay, will be 3:1:8. Okay, the amount of water she used was 360 ml, which means that over here 8 unit is gonna be equal to 360 ml. Okay, we're gonna find what is 1 unit. 1 unit is gonna give me 45 ml. Okay, from there, and they're asking how much honey did she use. So honey is basically 3 units. 45 times 3, which will give me a 135. Okay, the answer is number 3. Let's move on to question 7. In the square grid below, which 2 lines are parallel to each other? So if you want to find out which 2 lines are parallel to each other, I think there's 2, which is pretty obvious, which is A, B, and G, F. Okay, what you can do is you can make use of the square grid. Let's try to draw a square shape side here. Okay, so that, and draw another square shape side over here. Okay, now I'm gonna highlight AB and GF. Okay, so you can see that these two lines are the diagonal of these two exact same square, which means that the answer will be AB and GF. Okay, number 2. Let's move on to the next question, question 8. Okay, check about total of 40 red and blue pen. Okay, 30% of the pens were red. So how many red pen did he buy? So you want to find what is 30% of 40 pen, right? So you multiply, we're gonna reduce, cancel the 0, cancel the 0. 4 times 3, which will give me a 12. The answer is number 2. Question 9. Mohan bought a can of green tea from the vending machine. So the can is likely to contain how many ml of green tea? This one, the answer is number 2. If you do not know, you can find out, go step into the 7-Eleven and take a look at the ml of a can of Coke or green tea. Was it green tea or Coke? I think it's green tea. Okay, question 10. How many 1 cm cubes can fill up the rectangular box shown below completely? So basically we need to find out what is the volume of this box. Okay, volume equals length times breadth times height, which is 30 times 8 times 14. Okay, so I'm gonna work out what is the 14 times 8 first. 3, 2, 3811. So it's gonna give me a 30 times 112. Same thing, I'm gonna ignore the 0. So 112 times 3 is gonna give me 336 and add a 0 behind, which means that the answer is number 3. Let's go to question 11. Mass of 1 packet of rice is pkg. Lower. Here, a bottle of cooking oil is 2 kg heavier than a packet of rice. So what is the total mass of 4 such packets of rice and 1 bottle of cooking oil? So we know that 1 packet of rice goes to P, right? So which means that 4 packet of rice would be equal to 4P. Okay, and for the cooking oil, since it is 2 kg heavier than a packet of rice, which means that it will be P plus 2. Okay, we're gonna add these 2 together, which will give me 5P plus 2 kg. Okay, answer is number 3. Question 12. Table below shows Lawrence savings in October and November. He wants his average savings for the 3 months to be $57. So how much must he save in December? So the first thing we need to find is the total amount that he need to save. It is gonna be 57 multiplied by 3. Okay, 57 multiplied by 3. Do your working. 21, 5 to 3, 15, 15 plus 2 will be 171, right? So we know that we need to find out what is the total of October and November, which will be 63 plus 27, which will give me $90. Which means that to find December, I just need to use 171 minus 90. Okay, 171 minus 90. Do our working. 1 borrow. Okay, so it would be 8. Answer is number 4. Going to question 13. Piece of cardboard is cut into a square, triangle, and a rectangle. The area of the square is 3/4. The area of the triangle, area of the rectangle is 2/9 of the area of the square. So what is the ratio of the area of the square to the area of the triangle to the area of the rectangle? So let us write down some info first, because this question is quite long. Piece of cardboard is cut into a square. Okay, the area of the square is 3/4 the area of the triangle, which means that the ratio of square is to triangle is basically 3:4. And over here it says that the area of rectangle is to square is 2:9. Okay, we can see that there is a similar subject, which is the square, but the units are different. One is 3 units, one is 9 units. So we're going to make them the same. I'm going to multiply by 3 to these two ratio, which will change it into a 9:12. Okay, which means that the ratio of square is to triangle is to rectangle is 9:12 is to 2. Okay, number 4. Question 14. Okay, the figure below shows a parallelogram ABCD. So ABCD, this is the parallelogram, and the isosceles triangle ABE. Okay, they want you to find angle DAE. Angle DAE is over here. Okay, so since this is ABCD is a parallelogram, right, which means that the opposite angles are the same, this is gonna be 62. Okay, and since ABE is an isosceles triangle, which means that this angle over here is gonna be 38. So to find the missing angle, we just need to use 180 minus everything, right? So we're gonna add them together first. 38 plus 38 plus 62. It's gonna give me 76 plus 62, which will give me a 138. Okay, then after that I'm gonna use 180 minus 138, which is gonna give me 42. Answer is number 1. Question 15. A roof and Paul each receive the same number of stickers. So whenever you read the same or equal, this is actually a very important keyword. Ruth gave 5/6 of her stickers away, and Paul lost 3/4 of the stickers. So both of them gave away a loss. That means reduce the amount of stickers that they had reduced. And the children had 60 stickers altogether. So how many stickers did Ruth give away? In this case, I'm going to solve it in a fast way. So Ruth, okay, because now the two fractions, they have different denominator. So I'm going to change them into the same denominator. I'm going to multiply by 2 to this. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply by 3 to this. So they will have the same denominator of 12. Okay, Ruth gave away 10/12, right? And a Paul gave away 9/12. Okay, which means that they are left with 2 units, left with 3 units, and that is equal to the 60 stickers. So 5 units is equal to 60. We're gonna find what is 1 unit, which is gonna be equal to 12. So they're asking how many stickers did Ruth gave away. So Ruth gave away 10 units, which is over here. Okay, so 10 unit is basically equal to 120. Number 3. Okay, let's go into question 16. This one is section B. Paper 1, section B. Find the value of 19 plus 5b over 2 when b is equals to 4. So 19 plus 5b is a 4, so 5 times 4 over 2. Okay, this will become a 19 plus 20 over 2, which is a 19 plus 10, okay, which will give you a 29. Question 17, they want you to find the value of 7/12. I think that one is a divided by 1/6. Okay, so 7/12. I'm gonna flip it over and multiply. Now we're gonna reduce divided by 6, divided by 6. It'll give me a 7/2. Okay, which is a 3.5 when you change it into mixed simplest form. Question 18, they want to find the value of 1 divided by 6 corrected to 2 decimal place. So we're gonna do long division over here. 1 divided by 6. So the first thing is 0 minus 0, 1. Okay, we're gonna add 0 behind, so I'm gonna change the color. Bring down the 0, and then it'll be 1. Okay, minus 6, 4. 0, bring down the 0. This would be 6 times 6, which will give me a 36. And then you realize that you'll be repeating over and over again. Minus 36. Okay, but since they want us to round off to 2 decimal place, then we just need to divide until we get 3 decimal. So when you round it off, you will get 0.17. Question 19. A box contains 42 lollipops and 59 cookies. What fraction of the lollipops are cookies? Okay, what fraction of the lollipops? Usually when they say of the lollipops, which means that the lollipop should go to the denominator. So it's 59 over 42. Move on to question 20. Okay, Mr. Krishnan bought a sofa which included a 7% GST. The cost of the sofa before GST was 1,500. So this is before GST. So how much did Mr. Krishnan pay for the sofa? So we're gonna find out what is the 7% GST. Find what is 7% of 1,500. Okay, cancel 20, cancel 20. 15 times 7 will give me 55. 75. Let me just make sure correct. Sorry, it's 105. I'm gonna erase these. Okay, so you just add it in. 1,500 plus 105 will give you $1,605. Going to question 21. This one is still paper 1. Okay, Marie paid for a haircut with a $50 note. So the cashier did not have enough $2 note. A small change, and Marie gave the cashier another $1 and received change of $5 note. So what's the cost of the haircut? So how much did Marie gave to the cashier? So gave, right, $50 plus another $1, right, which is $51. And she got back a change of $5 notes, which means that 51 minus 5 will give you 46. Okay, so the haircut cost $46. Question 22. Rope is rope A is Y meter long. Rope B is twice as long as rope A, and rope C is 7 meters longer than B. That's the total length of the 3 ropes. Okay, so we're gonna write A is equals to Y. B is twice as long as A, which means that it will be 2Y. Okay, C is 7 meters longer than B, which means that C will be 2Y plus 7. Okay, and then we're gonna add the total. The total is basically 5Y plus 7. Move on to the next question. Okay, X and Y are 2 points on the number line, which is here and here. Now they want you to find the sum of X and Y. So it is between 6 to 6.1, right? And then you can see that the number of division between them is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're gonna add a 0 behind here and behind here, so that you'll be from 6.00 to 6.10, which is just nice a 10, right? Which means that the midpoint over here is 0.05. This is 6.01, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, which means that X is basically 6.03. Y will be 5, 6, 7, 8, 6.03. 0.08, right? Add them together, you get 12.11. Going to question 24. Okay, 2 highlighters and 3 files cost $7.95. So each file costs 40 cents more than each highlighter. So what's the cost of one highlighter? So 2 highlighter and 3 files cost $7.95, right? So we know that each file costs 40 cents more than the highlighter, right? Which means that the file, okay, is equals to the highlighter plus another 40 cents. Okay, so we're gonna replace these 3 files. We're gonna multiply these. So if one file costs H plus 40 cents, it means that 3 files will cost 3H plus 120. Okay, so which means that now this equation over here is gonna become 2H plus 3H plus 120 gonna be equal to 795. Okay, so altogether this is gonna become 5H is gonna be equal to 795 minus 120, which is gonna be equal to $6.75, which is 5H. Okay, I'm gonna work out what is 6.75 divided by 5 over here. 1 minus 5, 7, 3 minus 15, 2, 5, and a 5. Bring up the decimal, so it's 1.35, which means that each I'm gonna squeeze it over here. 1H is equal to 1.35. Let's move on to question 25. Okay, in the figure below PO. Oh, okay, I think this one is PQ, is not PO. Okay, PQ, RS, and TU are straight lines, so they want you to find angle Z. So since they're all straight lines, which means that this is vertically opposite, this is 106, right? Okay, so we're gonna find what is the total of 106 and 42. 6 plus 42 is gonna give me 148, and then after that I'm gonna use 180 minus 148. Okay, because angle on a straight line, all 3 of them will add up to become 180. Will give me a 32. Let's move on to question 26. Okay, Susan had some buns. 1/3 of the buns were kaya and the rest were butter. Okay, she gave the butter buns equally to 4 niece. What fraction of the buns did each of the niece receive? Okay, so I'm gonna do the quick way, which is the fraction way. If kaya equals to 1/3, right? Which means that the butter would be 2/3. So she gave them equally to a 4 niece, right? So I'm gonna divide the 2/3 by 4. Okay, which will become reduce and divided by 2 divided by 2, 1/6. Okay, which means that the fraction of buns each niece receive is 1/6. You can do a model drawing for this one also. So maybe I'm gonna draw the model over here. You have a shape like this, and then you cut it into three parts. This is gonna be kaya, this is butter, this is butter. And then if you're gonna divide it into 4 equal parts, right? That means it's cutting it into 4 parts, which means that over here you're gonna cut it into this also. So this is what one of them receive, which is 1/6. Move on to question 27. 7/10 of Yusha stems is equal to 2/5 of Ming stems. So this sentence is something that we saw in the last paper. What is the ratio of the number of Yusha stems to the number of Ming stems? Express your answer in the simplest form. So here is 7/10. Ming is 2/5. Okay, since they are equal, we're gonna make the numerator the same. So times 2 times 2 times 7 times 7. So this will give me a 14/20. This will give me a 14/35. Okay, so remember the denominator, right, will tell you that which I got 20 units. Okay, and then Ming will have 35 units. So they want ratio of U is to M. Okay, which is 20:35. Oh, okay, I need to change it to the simplest form first, divided by 5, which will give me a 4:7. Erase this away and change it to 4:7. Okay, remember to express your answers in the simplest form. Next question, question 28. Mr. Lim spent a quarter of his money on the watch and 1/5 of his money on the bag. So what percentage of his money did he spend altogether? So we're gonna find what fraction of his money did he spend altogether first. 1/4 plus 1/5. Change to common denominator, which is times 5, which will give me a 5/20. 4 times 4, 4/20. Okay, which is equal to 9/20. So 9/20, if you want to convert it into a percentage, you can change the denominator into 100. So you times 5 times 5, which will give you a 45/100. So this is basically 45%. Move on to question 29. Mei Fong has a box of marbles. Okay, the marbles can be put into bags of 3 or 8 with no leftover. So when the marbles are put equally into 9 bags, there are 3 marbles left over. So what's the smallest possible number of marbles in the box? So in this case, I'm going to do this method that's called listing. I'm going to list out the 9 timetable first, which represents the marbles in the 9 bags. Okay, so it's gonna be 9, 18, 7, 6, 45, 4, and so on. Okay, so I'm gonna plus 3 to each one of them to give me a 12, 21, 30, 39, 48, 57. Okay, now we're gonna check the number over here, which one of them can be divided by 3 or 8, because there's no leftover, right? Since all these are, 12 can be divided by 3, 21 can be divided by 3, 30, 39, 48. In fact, all of them can be divided by 3. We're just gonna check if which one can be divided by 8. So 12 cannot be, 21 cannot be, 30 no, 39 no. So the first number that can be divided by 8 is 48. Okay, which means that the smallest possible number of marbles in the box is 48, because 48 can be divided by 3 and divided by 8 with no leftover. But if you divide it by 9, you're gonna get a remainder of 3. Move on to question 30. The figure below shows a rectangle PQRS and a shaded triangle QRS TS with ST is equals to TR. Okay, so we're gonna each statement below is either true, false, or not possible. We're gonna find out which information is true or false or not possible. Area of the shaded part is a quarter of the area of PQRS. So the area of the shaded part. Okay, so yeah, because this triangle has got a base over here. And this is the height. Now if we shift this point to over here, okay, the triangle is gonna become like this. Other than the drawing, draw a straight line. Okay, so this red triangle over here will have the same base and same height as the shaded triangle, and this is basically a quarter of the whole rectangle. So this is true. Okay, the height of QR T is over here. It's mixing. It's not the same as the height of QTS. Okay, I already showed you that they have the same height because the height of QRT is here. Okay, so this is false. Okay, let's move on to paper 2. So you paid $2,365 for a refrigerator and $289 for a printer. So how much did you pay altogether? Express your answer to the nearest $1,000. So we're gonna add these two together. First, 2,365 plus 289. Okay, I'm gonna use a calculator to 365 plus 289 is gonna give me a 2654. Okay, so when I round it off to the nearest $1,000, is gonna give me 3,000. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 2. The table below shows the parking charges at the car park. So the first 2 hours is $1.70. The first 2 hours, right? Okay, every additional half an hour or part thereof will be $1. So Mr. Sai parked his car from 9:30 to 1:40 p.m. So how much did he pay? So we're gonna count like from 9:30 to 1:40 is altogether how much time? So 9, 10, 30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. So it's gonna be 4 hours and 10 minutes. Okay, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 30. Okay, double check. So now we're gonna count from 9:30. For the first 2 hours, right, to 9, 10 to 11:30. Okay, it's gonna be $2. Now I'm gonna count from 11:30 to 1:30. Okay, how many this will be 11, 12, 1. This will be 2 hours, right? Okay, so 2 hours there are 4 half an hour, so it will be 1 times 4. Okay, it's gonna be $4. Now for the last 10 minutes, right, 1:40, you still need to pay $1, okay, because of the part thereof. So anything exceeding the 1:30, you will need to pay. Okay, so altogether will be 2 plus 4 plus 1, which is $7. Question 3. Mr. Chan had an equal number of rulers and pens. So equal is always a very important keyword. After selling 119 rulers and 254 pens, In the ratio of the number of rulers to the number of pen, it became 6:1. So what was the number of pen left? Okay, for this question, I'm gonna draw a model. Over here, which represents the number of ruler. And I'm gonna draw another block which represents the number of pen. Okay, so this will be ruler. This will be pen. Okay, so after selling 119 and 254, the ratio becomes 6:1. So I'm gonna cut the 6:1 first. Number of rulers, so I'm gonna cut this into 6 parts. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6:1. Okay, which means that this would be the 119, and over here would be the 254. Okay, now if you look over here, this is 5 units, right? It's gonna be equal to 254 minus 119. So once you realize this, then you can do a 5 units is equals to 254 minus 119. Okay, so 254 minus 119 will give me 135. Okay, so if I want to find what is 1 unit, which is the number of pen left, I just divide it by 5. Okay, I'm gonna get 37. What's the number of pen left? Yep, left is 1 unit, right? Okay. Did I make any mistake? No, I don't think so. Move on to question 4. Ada baked some pies. She gave some pies to a neighbor and kept 2/5 of the remaining pies for her family. She had a quarter of the pies left. Okay, what fraction of the pies did she give to her neighbor? So I'm gonna draw a model for this also. She gave some pies to her neighbors. I'm gonna like maybe cut out a part. I don't know how big or how small it is. This is given to the neighbor. And she kept 2/5 of the remainder. So this I'm gonna cut into 5 parts. In color, so here to here would be for the family. So she had a quarter of the pies left, so this is the 1/4, okay, which is equal to 3 units. So the first thing we need to find is we need to know that a quarter is equal to 3 units, which means that 4/4 is equal to 12 units, right? So the whole thing, Ada baked 12 units of pies. Okay, what fraction of pies did she give to her neighbor? So if this is all 1 unit, right? This is altogether 5, that means 12 unit minus 5. Gonna give you 7 unit, which means that it is 7/12. Move on to question 5. A tank with a square base of side 30 cm was filled with some water. When 8.2 liters of water was poured into the tank, height of the water became 16 cm. So what's the volume of water in the tank at first? Okay, so we know that it's a square base. Okay, so the first thing is we want to find the base area. Base area is equals to 30 times 30, which will give me a 900 square cm. Okay, when 8.2 liters of water was poured in, we're gonna find out gonna change the 8.2 liter into ml first. It's gonna become 8,200 ml. So using 8,200, if we divide it by the base area, it's gonna give us the height increase. Okay, cancel. So 82 divided by 9, okay, it's gonna give me a fraction of 9 and 1/9. So this is cm. Okay, which means that the original height of the water will be 16 minus 9 and 1/9. Okay, which will give you a 6 and 8/9 cm. Okay, so what was the volume of water in the tank at first? So volume of water is gonna be, I'm gonna use the base area, which is 900 multiplied by the height. Okay, it's gonna give me 6,200 ml. Going to question 6. Okay, Mr. Wong spent $45 on some packets of wet wipes. So how many packets of wet wipes did Mrs. Wong, get altogether? Okay, so in this case, 4 packets is $3. If you buy 12, you're gonna get 3 free. So which means that 4 packet is equals to 3, right? If you buy 12 packet, it's gonna be multiplied by 3, it's gonna be $9. Okay, but okay, when you pay $9, you get 3 packets free, which means that in fact 15 packet costs $9, right? Okay, so now I want to find out, okay, for $45, how many packets can I get, right? So you gotta realize that from $9 to $45, you need to multiply by 5, right? So the other side you also multiply by 5. Okay, 15 times 5 will give you 75 packets. Okay, so this will be the answer for question 6. Move on to question 7. Lana and Shanti each used up a roll of ribbon of the same length to decorate the notice board. So Lana cut her ribbon into equal pieces of 2/5 meter each. Shanti cut her roll of ribbon into 32 pieces of 3/4 meter each. Okay, how many more pieces of ribbon did Lana have than Shanti? Okay, so we're gonna find out what is the, like this same length. What's the length of the ribbon first? So 32 pieces of 3/4 meter each. So we're gonna use 32 times 3/4. 1, okay, divided by 4, which will give me a 8. So times 3 will give me a 24 meter. Okay, so now I need to find out Lana cut her roll of a ribbon into 2/5 meter each. How many pieces did she get? So it will be 24 divided by 2/5, which will give me 60. Okay, now the question is asking you how many more pieces of ribbon did Lana have than Shanti, which means that you use 60 minus 32, which will give me 28. Okay, so this is the answer. Go into question number 8. Ria planned to buy a pair of headphones worth $186. Okay, she started saving $3 on Wednesday. She saved the same amount of money every day. So what would be the earliest day of the week for Ria to save the exact amount of money to buy the headphones? Okay, they want the earliest day. So we're gonna list down, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Tuesday. So each day she saved $3. Okay, which means that in a week, gonna save $21, right? So I'm gonna try and find out like how many weeks is it gonna take for her to save $128. So I'm gonna do some working over here. Sorry, 186 divided by 21. It's gonna give me 8.8 something. Okay, so it's 8.8 something, which means that since it's closer to 9, so I'm gonna take 9 weeks. Okay, so in 9 weeks, it's gonna be equal to 21 times 9. Okay, 21 times 9 is equals to $189. But okay, this is already overshot, right? And then by Tuesday, she would have saved $189. But if she wants to save $186, that means she just need to do it on the day before, which is a Monday, because it's $3 lesser. Okay, so the earliest day of the week would be a Monday. Move on to question 9. Okay, there are 940 visitors at the science center, so 423 were adults and the rest were children. Number of girls was 5/11 of the number of children. What percentage of the visitors were boys? Okay, so we need to find the number of children first using 940 minus 423. So 940 minus 43 is going to give me 501. Okay, this is the number of children. So the number of girls is 5/11 of the girls, right? So if girls goes to 5/11, it means that boys is equals to 6/11, right? So we're gonna find what is 6/11 of the 517 children. So multiply by 6/11, gonna give me 282. So this is the number of boys. Okay, but the question is asking for what percentage of the visitors were boys. So the boys over the total visitors multiply by 100 is going to give you the percentage. Okay, which will give me a 30%. Move on to question 6. This question is a bit unique. Okay, 6 identical rectangular tiles can be arranged on the floor of 120 cm wide. So 2 arrangements are shown below. The first arrangement in figure A leaves a gap of 20 cm over here at the side and another gap at the top over here. Okay, the second arrangement in figure B leaves a gap of 68 cm at the side. They want you to find the length of each tile. Okay, so looking at the diagram, I'm going to underline all the numbers that's given. Okay, so the first clue which you need to realize is the breadth of the rectangle is 60. Right, which means that this is 60. Okay, so we're gonna look this section over here. So for figure A, I'm gonna write over here. The length of figure A is equal to 20 plus 60 plus 60 plus 60 plus 60 plus the length of the small rectangle, right? Okay, so all together is gonna be 260 plus L. Now if you look at the length of figure B, it is 68 plus another tree length, right? Because this is L, L, and L. And you should realize that since the floor is of the same figure, which means that the length are the same. So I'm gonna do the working in blue. 260 plus L is basically equal to 68 plus 3L. Which means that 2L is equal to 260 minus 68, which is equal to 192. Which means that L would be equal to 96 cm. So the length of the tile is 96. Move on to question 12. Mrs. Xiao had E kg of flour. She used 4 kg of flour to bake some biscuit, and she repacked the remaining equally into 4 containers. Find the mass of flour in each container in terms of E. So she had E. She used up 4, so I minus away 4 kg. And then she repacked it into 4, which means that I'm gonna divide the whole thing by 4. The mass of the flour in each container will be this. But E, given that E is equals to 18, they want you to find the mass. So I'm going to replace E with 18. 18 minus 4 divided by 4. Okay, 14 over 4, which will give me 7 over 2, which is a 3.5 kg. 4 over 4. And this is a 3.5. Go into question 13. Figure below is made up of 2 overlapping shapes, rectangle X and triangle Y. The ratio of the area of rectangle X to the shaded area to the area of triangle Y is 5:1:3. Area of the whole figure is 126 square cm. They want you to find the area of triangle Y, which is over here. So let's write down the information that's given to us. First, the ratio of the area of X rectangle to the shaded area to the triangle is 5:1:3. So since the shaded area is 1 unit, which means that I'm gonna minus 1 unit from both of them. Because I want to get the area of the unshaded parts. Which will give me a 4:1:2. This is the ratio of the rectangle which is unshaded. Maybe I can write rectangle unshaded to the shaded part is to the triangle that's unshaded. So which means that the area of the whole figure, since it's 126, right, which means that 4 plus 1 plus 2, 7 unit is gonna be equal to 126. So 1 unit is gonna be equal to 18. They want you to find the area of triangle Y. The area of triangle Y is basically 3 unit. 54 cm squared. Let's move on to question 14. The figure below A, B, C, this is a trapezium. A, this is parallel to BC over here. and BCEF is a rhombus. Angle ADB is 32 over here, and DCE is 147, and BCF is 51. It's all over here. So they want you to name a triangle which is the same as triangle CBF. So since this is a rhombus, right? BCEF is a rhombus, which means that it can be the diagonal will cut into two exact same triangles. So BCF is CBF is equal to CEF. Next, we're gonna find what is F, angle FEC, angle FEC. Okay, so this is gonna be an isosceles triangle. So this is gonna be 51, which means that this is gonna be 180 minus 102. $78. Okay, so here is 78. Rhombus, the opposite angles are the same, so over here is also 78. Okay, FC is equals to 78. Next, they want you to find angle BDC, which is this one. Okay, so angle BDC, we know that this is 51 also, which means that we can find this angle over here, and we know that this is 32 because of alternate angle here. So I'm gonna find this angle first. Okay, 147 plus 51 plus 51 is gonna be equal to 249. So 360 minus 249 is equal to 111. So over here, this is 111. Okay, so to find this angle, we're gonna use 180 minus 111 minus 32. Gonna be 37. Okay, so this is 37. EEF is over 78 and 37. Okay, let's move on to the next question. The next question is a number pattern question. So I use black and white squares to form figures that show the pattern below. So complete the table for figure 5. So let's take a look at the figure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, the number of white tiles will be 6, 8, 10, 2. So it's always a plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. So I would expect this to be 14. Number of black tiles is 2, 3, 4, 5. So obviously it's gonna be 6 over here. Total number of tiles is 8, 11, 14, and 17. So it's always a plus 3, and a plus 3, right? So 17 plus 3 will give me 20. Part B is asking you how many white tiles are there in figure 15. So we want to go to figure 15, right? Which is gonna be 10 figures later. Okay, so remember each figure is 2, which means that I need to plus 20. Okay, which will give me a 34. So the answer for part B is 34. Let's go into part C. Which figure is made up of 155 tiles? Change it to black color. So now we're gonna find 155. house, right, is which figure number. Okay, so if you look at the pattern over here, is always a +3, +3, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna subtract, okay, the first number to all of them. This will give you a 0, this will give you a 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, by now you should realize this is the 3 timetable, right? So we're gonna fast forward to over here. I'm gonna subtract 8 to 155 or so, which will give me a 147. Now if I were to divide this by 3, I'm gonna get 1, right? Divide this by 3, I'm gonna get 2. Divide this, okay, I'm gonna get 3. And see that whenever I divide by 3, I'm gonna get a number which is 1 less than the actual figure number. So which means that if I were to use 147 divided by 3, I'm gonna get 49. So I need to use 49 plus 1 to give me the actual pattern figure number, which is figure 50. Okay, so this will be the answer for C. Going to question 16. Wendy spent a 1/10 of her money on 8 cookies and 3 muffins. The cost of 1 muffin is twice the cost of 1 cookie. She bought some more cookies with 1/6 of her remaining money. So keyword is remaining money. So how many cookies did she buy altogether? So this similar question also came out in the last CA paper which I went through. Okay, I'm gonna draw a model. And I'm gonna cut into n parts. Okay, so this is the 1/10. Okay, which is the 8 cookie. Muffins. Okay, the cost of 1 muffin was twice, which means that 1 muffin is equal to, we let it be 2 unit, meaning that 1 cookie will be equal to 1 unit. Okay, so 8 cookies and 3 muffin is equal to 6. It's gonna be 14 unit. Okay, so we know that each one of it is 14 unit. Now she bought some more cookies with 1/6 of the remaining money. So this part is the remaining money. Okay, we can let the remaining money be 14 each, right? So altogether the remaining is 14 times 9. Okay, 126 unit. And since she bought some cookies with 1/6 of the remaining money, so I'm gonna use 1/6 multiplied by 126 unit, which is gonna be 21 units. Okay, so 21 units of money and buy me 21 cookie, right? Because 1 cookie is equals to 1 unit. So how many cookies did she buy altogether? So at first she bought 8, right? Which means that I'm gonna use 21 plus 8. It's gonna give me 29 cookies. Okay, so this is the answer. Move on to question 17. Okay, Gopal had 3 types of fruits. The ratio of the total number of oranges and apples, okay, to the number of pear is 10:9. I'm gonna write down the ratio first. Let me find my point. Okay, so oranges plus apple to the number of pair is 10:9. Okay, after selling 1/3 of the pairs, the ratio of the number of pairs to the number of oranges became 2:1. So pair to oranges became 2:1. This is after selling 1/3, right? Just put a after. Okay, so if there are 9 units of pairs, and if you're gonna sell 1/3 of it, okay, which means that you'll be selling away 3 units and you're left with 6 units, right? So this is gonna be 10:6, but now let's take a look at over here. This is a 2. So I'm gonna multiply by 3 to everything, so this becomes 6:3. Okay, now I'm gonna combine both the ratio, which means that okay, I think proceed on to answer part A. Find the ratio of the number of oranges to the number of apples to the number of pears in the end. Okay, so in the end it would be the pair is left with 6 oranges, nothing happened to it. Okay, if oranges is 3 and O plus A is 10, that means this would be a 7. Okay, so that would be the answer for part A. Go to part B. Gopal had a total of 368 fruits left. So how many pairs did he sell? Which means that 16 units is equals to the 368. Okay, I'm gonna find what is 1 unit. And they're asking for how many pairs did he sell. So remember, he sold 1/3 of it, which is equal to 3 units. Okay, so 3 units is equals to 23 times 3, which will give you a 69. This is the answer for part B. Okay, so it would be 3 to 7 is to 6, and this would be 69.